Hello everybody, welcome back to Southeast by Midwest. I'm Cassie and today we are going to be doing a DIY home manicure. Now I'm going to have photos of the products on the blog post and details on where to purchase them there as well. And if anything here isn't like a favorite, it just happens to be what I have on hand, then I'll try to link to my favorite items. Right now, this is the manicure I'm currently working with. We need to change that. So I'm going to go through the steps of how to do that, going from beginning to end. There are a couple of things I do want to mention, and I go into this on the blog post as well. These are the steps that you go through for the state board to get your cosmetology license. Your nail tech or salon may not do all of these steps. I don't know if they could get in trouble for that or not. This is just the steps that you have to do in order to pass the state board. From there, your salon may do extra things. Like for instance, one of the things you're supposed to do is allow the hand to soak in warm water. However, since you're going to be doing this more than likely on yourself, you can't put one hand in water and let it soak while still working on the other hand. So for instance, after the cuticle remover, we are going to wash our hands, not let it soak, and use a brush and all that kind of things. Also, in between the nail surface cleanse or the cuticle oil and applying polish, your salon may do a massage with lotion. That is in the state board as well. However, again, I'm not going to put that in here. If at any point you want to put lotion on your hands and massage them, you go on ahead and fit it in wherever you would like to. And let's go on ahead and jump in. Alright, for step one, we're going to remove the polish that is currently on our fingers. I am using the Zoya Remove Plus. And just cotton rounds will do. This is the two-sided where it's got like the kind of texture on one side and then it's just a basic round on the other. In all honesty, these are not my favorite because I don't know if you can see it, but there's cotton coming off. This is going to get caught on my nails as I take off the polish. I suggest getting a good quality cotton round that does not do that. Usually just having this basic part on both sides works. They also have the OPI wipes that you can buy off of Amazon. I'll link those in the blog post. Those don't particularly work for my nails. However, they do work really well on other people's nails. This is my favorite remover. I like I don't know if you can see this, the pump top. So I can just put the cotton round on and just push down to get the remover on there. And it also has, I find this to be a little bit more nourishing on the nail than what a just generic remover would be. So I tend to prefer this one. And basically what I do is I just set it on there for a second and then just do little circular motions to get all of that off. One thing I do want to mention before we move on is that for most nail polishes, I do 2 coats. And so I can usually get away with one cotton round for each hand. The only time that this does not work is when I'm wearing polishes that stain, for instance reds, in which case I do 1 cotton round for every 2 fingers, and then I come back through once I have the polish removed on both hands with 1 cotton round and get any staining off of the nail beds and around the fingers. I do want to mention that I really saturate these. I don't know if you can tell that these are both still really wet. There's still a lot of moisture in there. I don't want this cotton dragging across my nails or my fingers. After removing the polish and you can get a good look at the nails, this is where you're going to want to start shaping your nails. As you can kind of see, I tend to prefer a more square shape to my nails instead of a rounded or a pointed. These are my natural nails. They're not artificial. So I'm currently using this Medline emery board box. I got this off of Amazon. It has 144 nail files in it. And when you open it up, there is just a bunch in there. If you are in cosmetology school or thinking about doing freelance nails, this is a good option because you do not want to reuse these on clients. So for me, I was going to put these in my kit, so I got this big box. For myself, I tend to prefer a crystal nail file. However, I do not currently have one. My last one got lost in the move, so I haven't replaced it yet. So at this point, we are going to shape it. You're going to clip them down if you're wanting, if they've grown out and you're wanting to change the size. For mine, I am not planning on changing the size. I'm just going to file them down. Now when you file, you normally will see people do a kind of motion. That is not what you want to do. You want to go from side to center in slow. You want your strokes to matter. You don't want to just be sawing back and forth. So you want to go side to center and do it that way. Now moving on to step 3, we're going to use the cuticle remover. And this is the Blue Cross version. I also have the Super Nail version as well, but this is the one that's just easier for this particular video. Now, around in here, in between the filing, shaping, and the cuticle remover is when you would soak the nail. But again, we're not doing that, so you can go wash your hands off to get rid of any like nail dust and stuff like that. I'm going to use a Q-tip, and I want to point out that for the cuticle remover, we are not going to put this here on the skin portion. We are actually going to put this on the nail bed portion, kind of up to the skin, but not on this part of the skin right here. For the cuticle remover, I do want to mention that I use one end of the Q-tip for one hand, and then I switch to the other end of the Q-tip and do the other hand. Now this is what is called an orange stick. I tend to get mine at Amazon because you can get a big pack of them for relatively cheap. You can also get different styles. So this one is a pusher on one end and a pusher on the other end. But you can get them where they are pushers on one end and pointed ends on the other end. So what I like, this is what I do. You're going to kind of shape your cuticle at this point. So you're going to push this back and kind of use this to remove that little bit that's there. You're going to push this back, and then over here, you're going to kind of edge around. There. You could use cuticle nippers or a little metal scraper to get rid of that right there if you wanted. After doing the cuticle remover, you do want to wash your hands before you go in with the cuticle oil. The next step is to use cuticle oil. Again, this is the Super Nail version that you can get at Sally Beauty. I have this size, and I actually have a larger size, but you can also get like brush on ones from different brands. Like Essie has the apricot cuticle oil. You can get it from indie brands. I highly suggest that if you're going to do cuticle oil like this, where you're going to buy like a big large value size, that you either get an empty nail polish bottle to put this in so that you can apply it like the Essie apricot oil, or you get like a pump bottle similar to the Zoya remover at the beginning so that you can pump some out on a cotton round, or you get like a, they're like watercolor brushes off of Amazon and pour some in there so you can brush it around with that style of brush. Because as you can see, when you open this, it is just a big open. So to get any kind of anything onto this Q-tip, it's going to make a huge mess. And then to dip it in, even into the cap, is unsanitary. So I don't like to dip the Q-tip, even if it's only me. I do not like to dip this into there. But let's say I had dipped this. What I would now do is go around the skin portion, putting the cuticle oil on the outer part of the skin. It is okay if you get it onto the nail, because we're going to take care of that in a minute. But once it's on the skin, I then rub it in all over. And then of course it will, once you rub it in, get on to the nail bed. But we're going to take care of that here in just a second. And then once you're done with the cuticle oil, your nails should look a little bit more kind of healthy now. You can see there's a little bit of shine back to it. After the cuticle oil, it's more than likely that you got some on your nail beds. As you can see, my nail beds have some shine to them. And what's going to happen is with the nail polish, it's not going to adhere to the nail as well if there's oil on there. So this is a nail surface cleanse, and it's basically going to remove any oils off of the nail. Now for this one, you don't have to put it into another bottle because, as you can see, it does have the little pour top on top. However, this right here is why I say you need good quality cotton rounds, because if you have the bad quality that shed, when you come through this step right here, it's going to stick to the nail. And if it sticks to the nail, then when you go in to do your top coat, which is the next step directly after this, you're going to wind up with these little fuzzies getting stuck in your top coat, getting stuck on your top coat brush, all that jazz. So basically you want to pour some of this on here. You can do one nail at a time. You can try to do all nails. So what you're going to do is I fold this and then just take it and brush it over the nail. And as you can see, the shine is gone. Now it is time to actually do the nails. So I use the OPI Nail Envy Nail Strengthener. However, whatever base coat you want to use is entirely up to you. I do a lot of typing and different things like that with my nails. So I want my nails to be stronger. That's why I use this one. Then I do one coat of this. Then I move on to my nail polish, and I do at least 2 coats depending on the polish. Some coats require more to get rid of the visible nail line. And then if I'm testing out polish, I used to use the OPI Rapid Dry Top Coat, but it has gone missing. So I'm currently using the OPI Plumping as my just normal top coat, and then the OPI Matte Top Coat, so you can see what the polish looks like matte. If I'm not reviewing for a blog post, then I just use the regular top coat. So I do one coat of this, 2 coats of this, and then 1 coat of this on the left hand and this on the right hand. As soon as I finish the last nail with both of those top coats, I immediately spray the OPI Rapid Dry spray on top of it. And this just takes, basically, if you do the whole typical this motion and spray, it gets all the nails in one spray. I have this bottle and I'm down to here on that, and I also repurchased a larger, like way larger bottle that I'll probably just pour into this one to make it more manageable. And I do this hand, top coat all the way across, spray, then I do the other hand, top coat all the way across, then spray. Now, for the next step, you can actually do this in between the polishing and the top coating. So after you apply your second coat of nail polish and then let that dry, you can come in with this, or you can do it after your top coat and spray. I prefer to do it after my top coat and spray. It just works better for me. The top coat and the spray kind of keep this from running into the actual polish and causing issues, but it is entirely up to you which way you want to do it. This is the Onyx Professional Pure Acetone Remover, so you're going to want to be very careful when using this and try not to get it around the skin. You want to try to keep the cleanup with this to around just the nail edges itself. And what I like to use, oddly enough, is this little brush right here, which is actually an e.l.f. concealer brush. It is super cheap, and it is the perfect shape to go around the edges and get right around the base of the nail. Alright, now we have done the cleanup around the nails. Hopefully you can see that it's at least a little bit cleaner. What do we think about this color? This is actually going to be the blog post for next Monday, so you can either comment down below or wait until that comes out. At this point, because I've used the acetone remover to kind of clean up around the nail, I usually do get a little bit on the skin itself. So I like to come in with something that's really nourishing for the nails. This is a nail butter. It is actually by an indie brand. They sent me one like years and years and years ago, and then I bought another one. I think this one is the lemongrass one. I think the other one that I have is like the gardenia one. This may be the gardenia one. I don't know. The label with the scent, I took it off. that was bad on me. Bad Cassie. So anyway, I like to take a little bit of this, and I want to get a spatula for this because you do kind of have to dig in with like either your finger or your fingertip if you don't have a spatula. But actually I think what I might start doing is, because I have so many of them, I might use the orange stick to get some out of there. A clean one. And then what I do is I rub this around the skin, and that's what I'll do before I take the photos for this for next Monday. And that is how you do a DIY home manicure. It's probably not going to come out exactly like your salon. As you can tell, this is no dip, this is no artificial nails, this is just you and your regular nails. So they're not going to be super long unless you have super long nails. I mean, you can get the tips and glue them on and then go from there, but you're not going to have the fill powder. You could get the little kits at the store that have like the little acrylic that you put on and go over the nail tips if you would like to do that, and then continue from there. I would not use acetone to clean that up because that's usually how you soak off those kind of nails. And then with gel polish, if you don't have like a set on its own gel top coat, then you're going to have to cure it with lights that are not like camera lights. It's going to have to be like one of those ones where you put your hands in it and stuff. So that is all for this video. I am planning on coming back to YouTube here shortly, but I have to get some stuff together to do that. So it's probably going to be a few weeks before I do. However, I will come back and let you know how that will be done. But until then, have a great week and enjoy your DIY home manicure.